That's where we're going.
Love you, Mom.
I love you, Ma. You guys are good, eh?
Yes.
Right.
Ons is nou reg om te...
Praat, om te gesels.
See, these guys are Afrikaans. I'm not Afrikaans.
Okay. Okay, well, let's do this one in Afrikaans.
Okay.
Sounds good.
This is going to be a struggle.
That's going to be
best.
really weird, dude.
All right. Okay, you guys ready? Okay. Back in your lives, on your screens, and in your ears. Welcome back to another episode of Papa G's House.
Woo.
If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're an existing listener, please make sure you're subscribed. And everybody, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Help the little guys out. Today, I say this for everyone, but I'm really excited for this one. I'm particularly excited for this one. I've got the guys from the Peasant.
I'm glad that's catching on.
Yeah, the Peas,
Hashtag
dude.
the Pez.
Yeah,
It feels like the Pears, man.
the Peas, man. I got Graham, Adri, and Immanuel from the mighty Peasant in the house. What's happening, dudes?
Sup, yo?
What's up, yo? Really cool to have
How's
you
it?
guys around,
Yeah,
man.
thanks for
how's
having
it?
us, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking
One
about
of the
this for
busy
a while.
guys. Yeah, we have actually been talking about this
Yeah.
for a while.
I think it's always been timing that's been the problem.
Yeah, it was all
Logistics.
before tour, after tour. It's always tour with you guys, eh?
Yeah.
You guys really make an effort to get out there, not only locally but internationally as well. Which you've just arrived back, what, like 2 weeks ago from your
Yeah.
European tour?
2 weeks back.
Holy shit!
2 weeks.
And,
How's it been? How does it feel to have gone overseas and done the whole van trip around
We are
Sweden?
very, very broke right now.
But
We're
it's
starting a
well worth it.
GoFundMe to live again.
Well, it's well worth it. I mean, I think if we had the trust again, we'll definitely
Jeez.
do it again. You know.
Yeah.
It was-
Yeah, for sure, man. And
Okay.
you toured there with Prescription Death.
Yeah.
Another
guys
hardcore,
are
like
so
Swedish hardcore
cool.
band, right?
Yeah, they're like a bit more grindcore-ish, power
Okay.
violence sort of style, super fast and violent.
Almost
Shout
like
out
a
to Saucy Rob and the boys.
Yeah.
almost like a Napalm Death style.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
It's very
sweet.
heavy. Lots of blasts.
They are crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I saw.
They are nuts.
I think you guys were the band. What's
Nuts.
I'm sending them the link after this and we can trash talk them all day long.
Yeah.
What happens on tour stays on tour.
Oh shit, yeah, no, but I've got to get some of those tour stories out tonight. Eh? At least the PC ones. Eh?
Yeah, you've got to calculate which ones are.
Oh, and another thing that we've got to talk about is that you guys are actually a newly minted 5-piece where it was always a 4-piece. Eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Emmanuel
welcome in.
being the newest member to the fray.
Yeah, I think within the last year, quite
Yeah.
a lot has changed for Peasant.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's been good, I think.
for
Yeah.
sure. And you came from Blood Red, eh?
Yeah, blood red.
Okay.
He was stalking us and curving over us for a while and then we couldn't
I
resist.
was just like,
Yeah.
hey,
We let
come
him
on. Come on, man.
Just a side note, is that still happening? What's the story there?
With blood rat.
Yeah.
Not at this point. No.
Okay. A little hiatus.
Just dudes are really busy and maybe I don't
Indefinite
know.
hiatus.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, we'll
Yeah.
leave it at that. But
No comment.
yeah, but you're enjoying your newly minted situation in Peasant and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, it's
eh?
cool. In the beginning, it was a little bit weird, seeing as coming from a fan sort of perspective, and Peasant being like the long-running band in Cape Town that we
Yeah.
all sort of kind of looked up to. I mean, they were playing when I arrived in Cape Town, and like all this shit was sort of happening. So to be a part of this now is really cool. I'm very privileged and,
Sweet, man, for
and
sure.
humbled in a way, I suppose. It's
Another
really
thing
cool, man,
to highlight is the fact that I'm really, and obviously we're going to get to how Peasant came about, how long you guys have been around for, etc., etc. But just as far as I'm concerned, I just want to get this out of the way, and that you guys have really been one of those bands that have stood the test of time and have overcome adversity. And I mean, you were in Take Hand,
Yeah.
and then you joined Peasant.
I had 2 wives at that time. I got in trouble for that.
No, for sure.
They were saying, no, you can't have 2 wives. But I think there's a shortage of musos in Cape Town that have the same kind of ideals and ideas and
Yeah. But
All
what
right.
I'm getting at is that Peasant, when I first started entering into the local music scene or whatever, Peasant was always one that stood out for me. Take Hand was another one that stood out for me. With Dawn being another. It's just, I mean, obviously it's also not always what you know, it's who you know, etc., etc. And you guys were always around, very active, etc. Where you replaced, who was the drummer that
It
you
was
replaced?
Peter.
Peter,
The other Peter.
yeah, and then it was Byron on
Byron,
vocals, and then it was Elaine on vocals, and then
Was that Sheldon?
Also had Sheldon
Shelly
playing
Shoe.
bass in the beginning.
Yeah.
Sheldon.
Sheldon Klopper.
Okay,
It was a very quiet
The
one,
one
so
and
if you don't
only.
know.
okay, was the bass player.
Yeah.
So did Keegan replace
Sheldon. Yeah.
Okay, and then the one that struck me the most is the brother.
The Adrianas.
The brother.
Mijn naam is
You know,
Adrianus.
The new edition.
That's super special to me, dude. If you can join a band with your brother and go tour Europe, like that's made for me.
Yeah. I always had
Wicked.
this.
If I had a brother,
Guy,
I don't have a brother, but I would think that would be so wicked, dude.
Yeah, no, it's super rad. I've always like in the back of my head like wanted to jam with my brother, and since I moved down to Cape Town, it's always been an idea. But since it happened, I'm like, yeah.
When you guys
super
were kids,
stoked
did you
about
ever
it.
like jam together? Was it?
No,
was
no,
it
it's
like,
actually- it's
no,
actually-
sibling rivalry can't happen.
It was actually crazy because he, I mean, he had started a few bands, but never really like it got off because you know a lot of the dudes were studying and things like that. So I think they were all busy at the time. But then I actually started a band. I was like basically 17, 18 or so. Started my first death metal band called Killatora. And
Yes, I was mentioning that to you earlier. I was like, when we joined, it was like, who's that band? Digging, like I love the name as well.
That's so crazy. Like the way that name came about is just like dudes picking like things out of a hat. Killatora.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I actually started jamming a bit before him, and then my band's kind of like fizzled out a bit, and then Peasant went on. And then I've always wanted to be a part of Peasant, and here we are.
You're a
That's
peasant.
awesome. And were you always following your brother when he was doing all this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, did your brother move down to Cape Town earlier than you did?
Yeah, way earlier.
Okay.
And then I just finished my studies, and I took a gap year, and then this guy over here was just like, "Hey, do you want a job?"
Yeah, it all just worked out so well. At the time, we were looking for IT guys. He was an IT guy.
Nice,
And
dude.
we're like, hey, come to
Oh,
Cape Town.
do you guys actually work together
Yeah,
in the same
yeah.
work
company?
together,
Like that?
we live
Wow.
together.
work together, live together, jam together.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
no.
do you live together as well?
Yeah.
What is going on? That's
I
crazy.
think he's the guy I see the most in my life
Okay,
right
so
now.
there's a huge bromance. That's right.
It's been 3 years of 0 degrees of separation. You know, we're just always in the same space.
That's wicked, man. So
Wicked
okay,
solid
so you
team.
guys live together, work together,
And
you
jam
jam
together.
together.
Yeah.
And no one's died yet. We haven't killed
Yeah,
each other.
Yeah.
Survived so
That's
far.
so cool, man. And obviously, and just by the way, we're talking about the brother Pete, who's not here.
The veteran.
Pete and Keegan
vet.
aren't here, and Adri and Pete are brothers. So we gotta talk to the listener who may not know exactly what the situation is, but dudes. So I mean, we've got so much to talk about in such little time. Who can explain to me how the pairs came about? The pairs,
Ooh.
and
I think I've been the longest
so we can cut
member
that
on this
segment.
couch.
Yeah, you've been
Okay.
around the longest.
Summary. How to summarize in as little time as possible.
Well, you don't need to worry about as little time as possible. Just
Okay,
tell a
okay.
good story.
Okay, you can edit this. You can edit it. And all the swearing that
I
goes
didn't
with
edit shit, bro.
it.
Sync and export.
Well, Peter's one of the founding members, the only remaining one. We all kind of just tagged along in terms of he is the machine. He's the rock.
He's
And
the riff machine.
He's
as
the
well,
riff machine. He's the rock, and we're all the rollers. So like he just like produces amazing material. He has all these rad ideas, and yeah, it all just comes together thanks to Putman.
For For sure. And then he
Oh.
sends the minions to do the interviews.
Oh yeah. He's too busy for us.
Yeah,
He's too
what
cool.
the hell, bro? He's busy coming up with some new Ender.
Probably
merch or
sleeping
something.
there. Yeah. No, dude, he is a riff machine.
Subscribe to Ender. Check it out on Facebook.
Yes.
Oh,
etc.
yes.
etc. Really good artwork. Really good merch. And if you're a band,
But he's, he pops out riffs left, right, and center. He's like, we've quite organized with our little Google folder there. And I was like, cool, here's a new riff. Take a listen.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I always felt a little bit intimidated by old Peter. I must say the one time I really felt that was when we played the Take Hand final show.
Ooh, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, yo, this dude is just so cool, calm, collected, rocks up, plays the riffs perfectly, disappears, has a beer, whatever.
Absolute machine.
And I was myself, Kevin, and who was the other one? Donovan. We were like, okay, shit. We were all like struggling through the riffs. And there's Pete, he's like, okay, cool, I'm done. Cheers, thanks.
I think luckily it had been around the riffs
Yeah, for
probably
sure,
a
for sure.
bit longer. And I think also when you do more of the hardcore stuff, you've got that more natural progression towards the
Yeah.
how to play them and strum
Sure.
along. And
Very,
stuff.
yeah, very rhythm guitarist oriented.
Rhythm
Yeah,
based
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
Just solid riffs.
Yeah.
Everyone say rhythm, say I.
Aye.
I'm definitely on the rhythm
Spectrum.
spectrum, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, okay, carry on. I've got another question following that, but then we're talking about the evolution of the pairs. Up
Jeez,
until
I
now.
But
can't-
you see, when Peter moved to Cape Town, because he played in the band called Conqueror
Yes.
with Richard and all those bunch of dudes.
Mm.
And when he, if I remember correctly, Pete always says that when he came here, he obviously wanted to do something. And then I'm not sure how he met. I don't think he actually didn't know Pete and Sheldon and all those people in the beginning. And for somehow, I think through Richard, actually, they got to meet each other. And then they like sort of strapped together the band and went from there. Started to do the stuff. And then, well, I wasn't there. But then like the member changes came as the band evolved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I
If
like to
the-
call it an evolution.
And
for
I
sure.
think
Yeah, definitely.
people left for personal reasons also, and a whole bunch of stuff. And I think it just sort of where we have come now is like sort of the natural evolution of
Sure.
Peasant and progression. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well-
I'm Afrikaans.
that's precisely what I'm trying to get at, in the sense
Yeah.
that you really are one of the bands that have like stood the test of time and overcome that adversity. I mean, look at Atlantic South, for instance. We've lost 2 bassists, we've lost a vocalist,
It's always difficult to try and pick it up straight after.
and then
Yeah.
you're trying to pick it up, but that whole teething process of new member changes and all that kind of stuff really can take time.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
you guys are one of those bands where I'm like, I look at you guys, I'm like, Peasant did it.
I think
can
we've
do
been
it.
lucky enough that
You
each
know?
time it happened, there was just such a smooth transition.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
one of the changes happened, I think it was 2 months maybe before we were going to tour with Magruder Grinds locally here.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that it was just like, I guess, a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
Persistence.
Yeah, it
you
was
guys
the-
are also, I mean, I think every single time I go to Kill City, you guys are there.
Yeah, we
You're
try
either
and make
finishing
sure we
a
don't
set or just
suck.
about to start one.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's kind of the point I wanted to get at. Is that, and also another thing is, it's a different story losing or evolving, changing guitarists and stuff. It's a different thing going through 3 vocalists. Okay? And then getting to a point where you're like, wow, okay, this is where we're at now and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, but it's like the main thing that attracted me, besides jamming and with really awesome people that I know, is
Hey.
that
Hey.
like I felt that the band always had like such a big.
There's a whole lot of love in this room.
I think the most the biggest thing was like the I've always thought the band is like such a driving force. So the moment when it comes to making decisions or writing and collaborating, it's always been like a let's go type of thing, you know,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
holding back. And
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest attraction I think to any member that's joined the band. It's just like have a mission and want to go for it, you know.
For
So it's
sure.
kind of like a once in a lifetime thing. If you jam with a band, you gotta like make
You
it
gotta
happen.
really
You gotta
be
give
into
it
it.
all,
yeah.
We don't have all the time in the world, to
I mean, we all got our own jobs, and
Yeah.
If
five,
you do
9
it,
to
you gotta
5.
do it.
you gotta like.
It's a
do it.
dedication thing where
Yeah.
I think a lot of the difference between bands that have been keeping it going and then the bands that are like will start a band and then get together, release an EP, and then it'll all of a sudden start fiddling away or whatever, is that everybody needs to understand that it's an absolute full-blown commitment.
Yeah.
Oh,
To-
yeah. No,
you-
we're all married.
It's exactly. It's a relationship. It's like a marriage, where you've got those 3 hours. I think I sound like a stuck record. I say this every time with every single band, but it's so important to have that 1 or 2 sessions, 3 hours a week dedicated to your marriage.
Your marriage, yeah.
If you're not actually married,
It is, something that sort of stuck with me too is what Keegan mentioned this in another interview we did, and what's kind of hits home for me is that with Peasant there was always this vision. And that I think also that is where Peter comes in a lot. Like he knows what he wants, and it's like
Sure.
we're going for that.
Tunnel vision.
And there's like that vision, like yo dudes, that, and then we just like yeah,
I live my life.
and then you just like go for it, and it's important for bands. In the scene that we find ourselves in the hardcore or like underground scene.
Yeah.
I don't know what is to there needs to be vision. It's like in today's age you can't just have let's start a band, like just like let it go, dude. You need to like really do something.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
you'll get something because there's millions of people starting a band.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so you need to have a vision, you need to be dedicated, and you need to like work your ass off to get to do it and make sacrifice.
100%.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Adri?
Oh no! I was just going on.
Just agreeing.
I was going on the same topic. I was going on the same topic. It was just like when you're younger, you just start a band. Feel like, hey, it's like what it is. Having fun, learning metal. Learning riffs, getting better.
Yeah.
But then you reach a certain point of time in your life where you're just like, okay, I want to like. make it
If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it properly.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it proper now.
100%.
Time is precious.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you get to that sort of point where you ask yourself, why the hell am I doing this?
Yeah.
I think a lot of change comes from having that conversation with yourself. Like,
Sure.
why am I still doing this?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I mean, I know you guys just wrap off the countries you've just visited.
So it was Austria, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, and Czech Republic.
Jeez, that's insane.
Yeah,
Now-
it was
You
amazing.
only need the one visa, so you good.
Yeah.
And a big van, a really big
And- but yeah,
van,
but-
and one visa.
But that's the next thing I wanna chat about is the fact that DIY, right?
Jeez,
Pretty
everything.
much.
Everything
So
DIY.
The whole thing was
DIY.
DIY.
Okay.
All the shows,
So
places you stay.
We
That
obviously
basically-
obviously had like promoters and venues stuff there that helped out, but it was pretty much I think like the Prescription Death dudes basically organized everything, so it's
that's pretty wicked.
definitely built on the DIY idea.
Yeah, but that for me, it makes the maths start going on in my head. I'm like, okay,
Numbers.
so South African passport, you need a visa. Okay, you need 5 visas. Okay, you need 5 tickets to Heathrow or wherever you're going,
yeah.
and then it just starts going. Ching, 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 ching.
There were various loans involved to get there.
Yeah, so you don't have to go into the in-depth detail about it.
Yeah.
But how the fuck did you
Oh,
make
we can
that happen?
swear.
We
Yeah, of
worked-
course.
Okay. No, I was just being polite.
So how did you make that happen?
We just
Loans.
Yeah, I think like loans, worked hard. We had a whole year to prepare for it. So
Yeah, and I think the main thing is we all kind of had like a job. So it's like you figure that out for that part of the tour, and you figure that out part of the tour. So we all kind of collaborated to, get everything together. But it was a lot with communicating with the Prescription Death dudes as well.
Yeah.
So it's like we think about jamming there. The guys are like, okay, cool, we're organized at that side. So it's a lot of logistics show-wise.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, it comes to the actually getting their vibe as well. I mean, we're struggling to get our visas, like,
Yeah.
because we'll get there, they're like, no, you need that, and we go back, and it's like, oh, you actually don't need that, and it's like, okay, just
Look,
working
it could have costed us way more if you would like really go the
Non-DIY route.
the non-DIY route. I think our
yeah.
biggest expenses were our plane tickets, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
We lived for free every night, and we got a meal a day at least.
Almost got
From
fed every show.
that's the really cool thing about playing with like the more punk-based community. I would
Mhm.
say like all the cross punks and the
culture
DIY
outside,
people
yeah.
there.
Mm.
They look after you, dude. They give you a place to stay. You have when you get there, you get food. The next morning, you have breakfast. We didn't pay for any of that stuff.
Mm.
And the
And they
van.
introduced us to a lot of vegan stuff. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
never really eaten.
These dudes had some
or
vegan
lot
meals
of
for the
vegan
first time in
food,
their
yeah.
lives.
Are you vegan?
No,
Okay.
Mm.
Why you make it sound like you are vegan?
I've majority vegetarian.
Okay, sure.
And I've been vegan for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
But it just that made it easier. Like if you had to pay for accommodation and like
Food and
food all the
accommodation.
time, that would
That's
have
the
costed
biggest
us
thing.
a
Yeah.
lot more, dude.
Mm.
And
And
it's 2.5 weeks. If you start paying for that stuff, then it's like, oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I think the plane ticket would pretty much be crippling as it is.
Yeah.
As it is, yeah.
That's where
so
the
it was
loans
just
come
that
in.
and the
mean,
visa
that's what
stuff
I'm saying.
basically.
Yeah.
I mean, we lived. Something that was really cool for me is I'm living in all these sort of anarchist, crusty squats and communities and stuff that I saw in magazines when I grew up, like Profane Existence and stuff, like super old school punk stuff. I'm like, oh my god, dude,
Yeah.
we're living in these places now, and I mean, that was really cool. And I think if it wasn't for that, yeah, then it
Most
would
of
be
the time, it's like
much
you're
more
rough.
difficult.
It
dude.
can be like just mattresses on the floor. We also bought floor mats that side so that
Yeah.
we lost them on like the second or third day. so if there was an emergency, but most of the places they would have like a couch or
Okay,
this or
wicked.
that. But it was 9 of us. I mean, for them to have the space for that half the time was it's quite crazy.
So basically, you guys were like, we're going to do this. We're going to do it properly. We're going to tour. That's our decision. We're going to do that. We're going to do it DIY. And we're going to split. Obviously, we're going to all buy our own plane tickets.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go tour. We're 5 very good friends. We want to get our band out there. We've released a sick album, Unrest Eternal, which we'll talk about next. And that's it. Just like this is how we're going to roll.
I think, yeah, I mean, we all realize we're obviously getting older. The
Yeah.
chances of actually doing it diminish the older you get. It's like
Yeah.
For sure. for sure.
everyone's like, we don't have children and stuff in the band
Yeah.
just yet. So
Yeah.
I think while we not.
It's just the ripe time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
right.
It was a ripe time.
But I think
Yeah.
it was more like 2 years in the making. We did
Sure.
try and organize it a bit earlier, but then the band that we were going to try and do it with, I think they split at the time. It was
Oh, shit.
Demon Room.
Okay.
So, I mean, we had the planning there for quite some time. So it did give us a bit of time to kind of figure out
Well-
all the planning and logistics. And
For me, putting the plan in action 2 years ago and then actually executing it 2 years later says a lot for me.
Mm.
In saying that, do you guys want to play a little bit of a video?
yeah.
Sure.
Which one?
It's like
Mm.
live send.
Think
maybe?
Yeah,
carefully.
the main one, our main music video that we just
The
released.
one that
Live
we
Send, yeah.
released, yeah.
Yeah, but didn't you? I want to. Okay, what is it called?
A
Live
live
send.
send.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's 2.
All right. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
This is Life Send by Peasant. We'll see you now.
take us apart beyond the shadow of light. The loving eyes have never brought us blind. Throw a gun into the night. A terminal dead, a sign of the times. It's lost. Dead, strange, no light. Grab me at the chains. Rock the trail of the strength. On the hand, circle the pillar remain. No fire naked. But the mental strain takes place. Enough to break and multitude things. Ignore the signs around us and put the love inside.
One clap for Jesus.
That's staying in.
Quang.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. All right. That was Life's End by the Mighty Peasant, dudes. Awesome. Adri, focal point, eh?
Oh yeah.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, so I had so much fun recording that. It was crazy. We recorded it almost on a constant, like 3 days, like over and over, and I'll be like do a full shift of work and go back into it straight. It was
I
hard, but it
think
was
I
cool.
actually had that conversation with you at Medal for Africa.
Yeah.
You guys were busy setting up, and I was like, "Hey, how did it go?" And you were like, "Oh my god, I'm dead."
But that push, it's so rewarding. Like once you get it done, it's
No,
like,
100%,
it's like,
100%.
so
Dude,
good,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Biggest relief. Yeah.
Really cool video, guys. Like, I mean, why don't we just talk about it a little bit? How was the experience? Who did it?
Main man Peter again.
Oh,
Peter, man,
like,
yeah.
for real. Okay.
And Keegan's
Yeah.
girlfriend Teal, she also featured a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
big shout out to Teal. Yeah.
Yeah, Teal. Whoa.
Actually, before you guys do anything, pause the video, pause the audio, go and follow Peasant on all the social
Subscribe, yeah.
medias,
He's gonna stick it
YouTube,
in
etc., etc. And then while you're at it, just go to Papa G's house as well.
Papa
But
G.
seriously, dude, that was really awesome. I love the whole how it was put together. And this was, and you're saying this was directed by Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy,
we had a nice infinity wall. And where was it? Soundcloud.
Soundcast, yeah.
Yeah,
Started
Soundcast Studios.
Sure.
One of the rooms that is just like a total like white layout in the background,
Okay.
so it's like it's easy to put like impose stuff on it and like
Okay.
I like put filters on the video, so it's pretty cool.
Wicked, man. So
And
cool.
that's Peter's full-time skill zone. He just takes videos and makes them amazing.
His audio and visual, huh?
He's alles.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
like his game. I don't know where his concept or idea from it came from. Probably like the bands we're all into, like what all those type of bands are kind of doing right now.
Yeah, also
I
especially a lot
suppose.
of the lyrics, because I mean, like him and I worked on the lyrics, and it was a kind of a different take to what I think Peasant normally or previously did. And
Yeah.
I think that drove a lot of the imagery into it. Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we chat about that for a sec? How, the lyrical content, is there a general theme, or tell me what your thinking behind it all was?
So
Yeah,
so mainly what I wrote the lyrics about is the whole theme was just how the world's changing and how we're kind of adapting to it, and how we got to kind of keep our eyes open and be alert and be aware of how surroundings change and be prepared.
Yeah.
for the future.
For sure.
It's mainly what
That's
things about
it. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, that's pretty powerful. And just the pure rawness of that flippin' album, dudes. Let's talk about that. Unrest Eternal. How long was that in the pipelines? I know you guys have been in studio for a while. Well, you guys were in studio for a while. Who was involved in the process? How did it come about? And tell me the whole story, man.
I think the studio time was quite cramped. We had like a small window to get everything done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was a banana and I slipped and fell just before we had to do it. That was the last time I was here at Papa G's house.
Oh, yes, you came to fetch my
Fetch the
crutches.
I came to fetch the crutches because I missed a step. I was completely sober.
Yeah, it happens, man.
So,
happens.
and that was the week before we started recording.
Yeah, the recording was like over 3 or 4 days, about a week.
Yeah, and actually all the riffs and all the things were written before I joined the band, so it was like
Okay.
I think it was
just
in the
filling in this
pipelines
part
for a while.
yeah, I was sitting there for a while.
Yeah, I don't know how long they've written the songs or of how long Pete has taken to write, because he basically wrote everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then at the beginning of last year, when they asked me to join them, he told me like, "Hey, dude, we're recording this album and we're planning this tour and whatever. Would you like to be in?" And then I stepped in, and Adri was there too. I think we kind of joined at the same time. It was just like the December before that year at that prison gig.
Yeah. Emmanuel was doing like guest songs with us at like quite a
Okay.
few shows.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, I want to know how, like, because obviously the one thing I always knew about the hardcore kind of vibe, or let's put in inverted commas, because I think the last genre reference that you guys had was like thrash hardcore or something to that effect.
I think
metallic,
people.
yeah.
Some metallic
metallic
thrash.
hardcore.
I don't know.
Other people give it more of a label than we do. It's
Yeah, I
like
know.
we-
Well, like, I hate labels. I just want to
10
express
subgenres.
that, and that's something I read. But it does seem to me that you guys have extended your song lengths, and
I think
it's
song
it's-
style.
It's
Obviously,
a little
it was that
different than
progression
what
that
it
we
used to
went
be.
through,
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I think that one song Ender was 90 seconds or something. How long?
Yeah.
Ender is pretty long, isn't it?
Yeah, well, in that album, like it's kind of hitting that just over a minute kind of mark. Like,
Yeah.
so very short and
There used to
powerful.
be like a lot more shorter in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the rawness is still there, but I think the song styles have obviously changed. It is
That's
a bit
pretty
more
much where
metallic.
I was getting to before I got sidetracked with the length of song vibes. Is that you guys record, like, who did you record with? And the one thing I wanted to ask is that you said that Pete pretty much writes everything before.
Yeah.
Is the riff
So
master.
how does it happen? Does he record the riffs and
He
send it to you?
He record all
Yeah.
the demos and then send it to all of us to learn.
So he has an
And,
idea in mind. So like,
Okay.
I mean, even like when he writes the drums and stuff, there's not much that I want to change because he's just made it so. I wouldn't say perfect because nothing's ever like
Yeah.
perfect, but it just everything fits so well. And says, yeah, you wrote them all, stuck them in a Google folder, and like,
Google
Google Drive is your
He
friend.
there's nothing much that we would wanted to change about it. That's the whole thing. It's like,
Yeah,
we
the
just
music
go.
didn't change at all. We just basically learned it all like that. The only thing that added on was the 2 solos in this in
And now we
Yeah,
have
it
second
means
riff
it brought
master.
the solo
Yeah,
master
man.
into
what is the
jazz.
song? Destined to Dirt and
Master
Ligature. I just wrote the 2 solos for it, and then we went into the studio at Mount Wave Studios.
Okay.
It's the guy from Indian Miner.
Yes.
What's Matthew?
You guys
Yeah.
actually gonna play a show with him soon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a phenomenal musician.
Final
Yeah.
launch.
Okay.
Yeah,
really good
super
with
cool
sound, yeah.
dudes, friends, and
Indian
we
with a Y.
Indian Miner.
Indian Miner.
Indian Yana.
M-I-N-A-H.
So it was at
Yeah,
the
it's very
Mount
hard to
Wave.
tell.
Yeah, the Mount Wave Studios, and we recorded with this dude called Jimmy.
Jimmy
Okay.
Powershot.
Yeah, Jimmy was an absolute king, dude.
Jimmy James.
Jimmy is actually more of a like sort of pop and jazz sort of record dude. He's got a lot of experience in different styles of music that is not heavy music, and that made it a little bit different for us, I think, because it's just someone that would listen to the music in a bit of a different way.
But he also had a lot of creative input all
Yeah.
the time. He was like,
Yeah.
That was the
No,
really
it's
cool
really
thing
cool.
about it.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
like
just-
fresh ideas.
Yeah, it was because there was such an ear for those genres, but also have a passion for heavy music. So combining that is always a cool
Sure,
thing.
that's
Always a
awesome.
good
So
thing.
it was almost like an experiment kind of vibe for him, where he just,
yeah, I think for
He's-
him it was something completely
yeah,
different.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like if you're going to a pop funk guy or whatever, and
Yeah.
now he's got to mix hardcore
Yeah.
or metal or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It must be quite a inexperience for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
It was literally
Totally.
that.
And it came out flipping great, guys. I mean,
thanks.
I wanted to ask you, dude. There's that one song where it's just all snare. It's like,
Well, because I stuffed up my leg, that's not my hands.
yeah. No, but I can't. The wreckage. It's a song where it's just you're just doing. I think it's single stroke rolls or
Yeah, I can't play any
like
double struggle. Here's the deal. I'm not a good drummer.
well, no.
Lies.
I think you actually diverting from the question. He doesn't even know what song I'm talking about.
The wreckage. No, there was a lot of rolls and stuff. I think we always try and stick away from stuff that's like overly complicated. Just whatever works really well with the music. But I think also when the demos are done, there was like obviously some changing around. I was like, okay, cool, this can sound better, this can do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love snare rolls and fills and
Yeah, but I'm talking about a specific track. I
record.
listened to it like literally a couple of hours ago. Shit, I can't remember what the name was.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
the
I'm even
wreckage.
worse with the
And
names.
it's
Yeah,
just
it's the
like-
wreckage.
It's just snare the whole.
I
like,
believe
the
I believe
whole
it's the
intro.
wreckage.
I
yeah.
think it's the wreckage.
It is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wreckage.
When it starts,
Didn't I
it's
say
just
the
snare.
wreckage?
You
Yeah,
did, you did.
Okay.
yeah, on point.
10 out
And
of
I was
10.
just
More than
holy
us.
10 out of 10.
shit. It's
I'm,
intense,
I'm the
dude.
one who has the problem with the song names. Like I keep forgetting them. They have to keep like, okay, it's this song now. It's this song.
Yeah.
Little
Okay.
musical interludes.
So it was literally like 4 or 5 days of just grind, and then
Yeah.
left to the producer to do his vibe there.
Yeah,
It's all-
I'm
all
very
after
very
hours,
happy. Very
Well,
happy with
it
that.
sounds
Lot of-
great. It sounds
lot of-
fantastic.
a little bit of bickering at the end, like, no, I think it must sound like this, or like, oh no, I think it sounds better than that. But then we all came to agreement, and I was
Yeah,
like,
for
yeah,
sure.
that's cool. I think if you don't do
It's
that, then
yeah, I mean, you've got to compromise and come to an happy medium.
yeah,
between- I mean, it's hard enough getting 5 guys into a room.
yeah.
Imagine trying to get 5 guys like
In a
to
room to
appeal
agree.
to the same little
It's
tiny
same.
tiny thing. So
Yeah. Also, I think it comes to like with whenever you're recording or listening to a track and thinking if it's going to sound cool or not, you're listening to it over and
Yeah,
over and over,
yeah,
and you have to
yeah.
give your ears a rest. And it's like, okay, I'm hearing it totally different now. And it's like,
yeah, I'm the type of dude. I'm just like, okay, I'm done listening. I'm sorry.
This is it. It is how it
I
is.
like this. I can't
happy
listen
with
to it
it.
anymore. Yeah,
I think there comes a point in time where you're like, okay, it is what it is.
yeah. You gotta enjoy your music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you gotta when you listen back, you don't want to listen to like, oh shit. Do you know how long that took?
Yeah.
yeah,
It is.
What I've noticed
Mm.
with the whole recording session is there weren't at any point really much quarrel about what needs to happen or the general sounds and stuff.
It was,
You're all
yeah,
kind of on
fairly
the same
flowy.
page.
It was like
yeah.
there
It's
was
flowy.
this
Yeah.
general idea of this is what we all want, and we just like sort of from the beginning went for that.
I think
Yeah.
it's more
All
just
the
the
time,
takes
yeah.
of like, are you happy with this take? And
Yeah.
then like someone will be happy and the other one will be
It's
unhappy.
like the little
yeah.
fine tuning when they came to the mastering and like the sort of the end parts where we just like sort of ironed it out. I remember if
For
I
sure.
remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think it's the smoothest recordings you can get is when you like put the effort in, then you don't have second doubts that often as what you used to have. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, this is gonna sound cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can hear it in every band's music, and that's when it comes out the best. Yeah.
Without a doubt, man. So for you guys, it was a pretty seamless process. It was cool. Everybody
No.
came into their thing.
I wouldn't,
I wouldn't
say
say
100%.
Okay,
seamless.
so tell
No.
me,
But close,
what were the
I'd
horror
say.
stories?
Well, stuffing up the leg first of all.
Graham had
That's
had
only
bomb
Mauricio.
legs.
We blame Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
You'd expect him to like screw his leg up playing
think it
cricket or
added-
something.
It added a lot of stress before the time. Just trying to figure out, cool, now how are we going to do this? Like,
Well,
What
and
is
you
it?
had a tour
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, is my knee gonna be okay for tour?
Yeah.
Just to hit up just in time.
Yeah.
I also
I think-
busted up riffs,
But
dude.
I think it was like after that we're all looking at stairs like
Yeah.
Whoa,
Every
don't-
time, like, you
no.
should have seen at Winterfest, I was like literally holding the
Oh, it was
rail
like-
with every
Uh-huh.
step. I'm like, nope, not today.
Not
Sid.
today.
Especially that was like Winterfest was a couple of days before the tour,
Yeah.
so I was like,
Graham, look where you're walking, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I still have no idea how it happened.
Yeah, man. It happens, but how are you feeling now?
Now it's all good. I did have a little bit of trouble on the tour. I think I was wearing not the best shoes for walking. It was a lot of walking.
Yeah.
All the apps are
walking,
telling us
uh-huh.
like, ooh,
These
12,000
shoes
steps
were
a day.
made for walking. That's just what they'll do.
Well, they need these new tackies, bro.
Yeah, I didn't have lekker skoene there.
So wait, didn't you guys tell me off air about each one of you guys like lost a pair of shoes or something on the on the tour?
Yeah, I guess it's like
What happens on tour stays on tour.
We can
What
tell
you
that,
lose
that's
on
fine.
tour stays on tour.
yeah, it's more just like walking in those shoes that much to the point of like I'm not gonna deal with these shoes anymore. It's like I'm just gonna
Yeah. I think
It was the craziest thing. But besides that, like doing the 2-week tour, I mean, we almost jammed every single day,
Yeah.
and only had one day off. But like at the end of the tour, we had so much energy. I mean, like it was almost like carrying it into the venue, carrying it back into the band, then carrying back into the place we're staying, and this over and over and over. You think at the end of that, you're like, I'm like
Yeah,
tired,
yeah,
but
for
we're
sure.
so like
You're so
energized. at the
souped
end
up
of
and
it, we're
pumped
like,
up.
is it like finished now? It's like you just
Yeah.
want to carry on going.
And how did you manage that as like a vocalist? Every night.
Oh, I did a lot of carrying.
Yeah, I want to know
Don't
that
listen
too,
this,
to be
guys.
honest.
Don't listen to this, guys.
Did you eat a lot of honey?
Yeah, I have to actually say so after the first 3 songs like it won't work for every vocalist, I'm sure, but like after the first 3 sets or shows that we did on tour, my voice was just like I'm not having it. It was just
Okay.
like it was pretty hard to get my voice out, but all I did was green tea and honey. Green tea
Okay,
and
so
honey,
I was
And a lot
literally
of
on
beer.
point there.
Yeah, dude.
literally
Okay,
like
wow.
green tea and honey, and my voice was restored like so quickly. I was so astounded that I was like, whoa. And I
So you
guess,
managed to do how many shows did you do over there?
13.
yeah, 13.
well, 12. The one was.
Yeah,
Okay.
the 13.
13.
Okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Um,
crazy,
And
man.
all I could say is like try green tea and honey, and that was like that worked for me. Like
Okay.
a bomb,
For sure.
I lost
Yeah,
it.
And
that-
was that every day before the show?
Whenever I got the chance to, yeah, it's definitely.
it's like his drink of choice.
Ooh, that's what I do, man. Green tea and honey. then I'm good to go.
The other vocalist, Rob, he had completely.
Living
lost
like
his
a
voice.
rock star.
I think Rob-
Green
Rob
tea
had
and honey,
no voice
man.
at
Don't
all.
get more gangster than that.
What's that?
No, I said the other vocalist from Prescription Death, Rob, he didn't have a voice for the entire tour. It's like,
Yeah, he'll sing and then he's like quiet.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the main thing as well. Just like
resting your
don't
voice
speak.
after the show.
speak as much. As
Okay. So while you guys were like touring around, you just wouldn't say anything.
yeah, it's like.
Well, it talks minimally.
You like talk and like
interesting.
have fun the nights, but like afterwards during the day, I mean, we were driving like almost 90% of the time, and in
Yeah.
the van it was pretty chill. Dude.
I think you
People
also
would
use-
sleep and just like rest your voice and stuff.
Yeah. Also, the main thing I'd have to say is I'm sure a lot of vocalists know it, but don't speak over people. Speak over the music while it's playing loud. So don't like try and speak over the music, and obviously don't shout anything like it, because that can like screw your voice up even more than actually screaming. Like
Yeah,
Hectic.
'cause obviously on the stage it's all technique, but while you're in like a busy club and you're making
and
noise,
you're sort of like, hey,
then you just
yeah,
losing your voice.
yeah,
Wow.
that damages your voice quite a bit. Not probably with
Awareness.
everyone, but with me. Like,
Awareness.
Like when you have a
Okay,
rough
so
night,
are
and just
you
get around
like
and you
in
lose
between songs? Sorry, I've got a little bit thing in my throat. I don't know what's going on.
your voice there.
I've been sick for like 2 weeks. It sucks.
green tea and
I
honey, man.
meant
Green tea
to
and
do. I meant to do 2 podcasts. Might as well mention it while we're at it. Is
Coming up.
I've got my mate
next.
Jared Ronenberg. He's been on the podcast like 3 or 4 times.
Who's that
Where
He's so
in order to keep like the regularity of the thing going, whenever I don't have bands booked to chat, we're gonna do like interim stuff, talk about upcoming gigs,
Cool,
nostalgia
yeah.
bands. We're gonna feature bands, all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
so look out for the new segments coming out with Papa G's house. It's gonna be myself, Jared Ronenberg. He's been around the block, blah blah blah. He knows his shit. He's
Oh,
punk, he's metal, he's everything. He's got a long beard, and he's a wisecrack. So it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, check out for that. I don't even know what we were talking about for a second. I just went to let's plug Papa G, baby. Sorry, guys.
Yes, Papa G's the shit.
Yeah. So we were talking about the live shows, The Voice.
The Voice. And
Um,
that,
I think the general maintenance.
So you guys
of-
were just like chilled, like
yeah.
horror. Give me a quick horror story from the tour.
It was crazy. Like most of it, just like I've been on a few tours. Like, we've all been on a few tours before. But
Emmanuel's got a story. It's just popped in his head.
I know which one you're laughing about, but that's very PC.
yeah, no, but
No comment.
I have to say,
Vienna, right? yeah.
Oh, you
it's
can't
just like
say that and have the listeners not hear what
Well,
actually
okay.
happened. Can't you PC it?
like I guess it wasn't like horror stories in the sense that like, oh no, something really bad happened, we lost
Yeah.
something or something broke. It was just like funny horror stories, you know,
Okay,
kind of like.
okay.
Let's just say some nights they were like really hard partying.
no, really
That's
hard,
great,
but-
that's
and
great.
that was like the most out of it, you know.
I think we can talk about the tour bus.
But
Were you guys with the disco in Magdeburg?
I missed that. I went. My sisters visited.
Oh
me.
yeah, it was
Oh
that.
yes,
night.
I actually saw a photo. Of
I was
your
like, yeah,
sisters
I had
with you.
fam coming. I've had someone that we worked with in Cape Town, and then
Yeah.
you
biggest
came out
peasant
there.
fans. Shout out to the biggest peasant fans.
Yeah, biggest.
Your sisters.
And then
Yeah.
my
Wicked.
sisters. One is
Did
in,
they did come to a show, eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
They came in Germany because the one's in Netherlands, other one's in the UK, so they're all kind of. And then my cousin came from the UK also just to the Hamburg
Wow,
show.
dude, that's awesome.
So I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in Europe. Come visit me.
So they fanboyed you for a day.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was awesome.
Oh, lots of fun. It's so
Number
cool.
one.
It was
fans.
cool, man. Yeah.
You guys
So
are
cool.
holding back on me. I don't
What
know.
happens on tour stays on tour,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay.
That was, it was cool.
I'll give a story there.
Okay. Give a story there.
I saw
Okay.
a lot of penis.
Yeah. Swedes do not hold back on showing what they have.
Okay.
Basically, our messenger group, obviously, you need to keep in contact with
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
You all split off.
Oh my god.
But the profile picture of
A lot
that
of unflattering.
included, the profile picture was just someone's winky hanging out of their pants. Like,
So it's like us. That's
lovingly
how-
referred to as Easter eggs. They take photos of subject matter, like holding an apple, but what you don't see is his dick hanging out of his pants, like in the back.
That's
You know,
good. These are the prescription death dudes.
Yeah, it was like.
Hilarious.
Graham and I met a dude that tattooed NASA on his schlong.
There was-
Rocket.
Oh yeah, that was in Denmark. They
Okay,
were
so
doing-
you just said to me that they like to show what they have. Did you see it?
maybe.
Yeah, we could take that as a
Maybe.
affirmative.
There's some videos and photos. And
But yeah, I think that like that's generally like what happens on tour. I'm sure, like you know, a lot
It's
of
just
bands go
dudes
there. It's just dudes being
having
dudes.
Yeah,
fun.
for sure,
Yeah, it's
man.
like,
Boys will be boys.
It's the best part of it. It was like not that specifically, but like just having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But, I
But
think
Letting
tour-
loose.
The tour in general just went so smooth. Like we've all been on tour before, like
Yeah.
a lot of the times, and something whack will always happen. Like
Yeah.
you know, messing a trade up or something weird being broken or whatever. But this is like the smoothest vibe I've ever been on.
yeah, you can imagine
And,
9 dudes in the same
like-
vicinity for so long. We didn't
And
kill each
your
other.
bro at the same time.
Yeah, no,
Very
definitely.
cool.
But
I still find that awesome.
yeah, it was super cool. I mean, we do have ours like, hey, you know, like
Yeah.
but like it's in a good way. It's really in a good way.
Sure.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you the younger one, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 6 years younger.
Whoa!
Yeah.
6 years younger.
6
Okay, I
years
didn't
younger,
expect
yeah.
that. Okay. Because I think
Yeah.
your
Spring
bro's,
chicken.
your bro's younger than me.
But he's been my biggest inspiration. I mean, like, I was always like,
No,
I
I'm
was
joking.
like it's the craziest thing. So like he will remember the story. So like he always used to get this music from friends. So it'd be like Trivium and Slayer and Supertramp and stuff. And I was young, it was like I never knew this music, but the moment I listened to it, it was like it just changed my world.
You were still
But
doing
I
Banger
used
Boys
to-
at that point.
I used to watch him type his password on his computer.
Oh,
Then,
wow.
and then
all
when he's
comes out.
away, I would like go into his computer, then like get a flash stick and steal all the music, and then
Are you
like
serious?
yeah, then
That's
I, like,
awesome.
then I got into Trivium and Slam or something. Then my world just like changed, and it was all because of it. So I was like, yeah, I wouldn't be here
Awesome,
listening
man.
to the music.
Shout out to Snot. What? Snot.
Snotskid Pete.
Snotskid Pete.
Yeah.
Snotskid Pete.
Okay. On that note, guys, let's feature another video.
Another one. Do we have
Oh,
any
yeah.
left?
I do the Destined
Destined.
Logue video that we
Yeah.
that we
that
released
was
with we did had a guest spot with Ross.
Okay.
Ross
He's,
Hallam from
Okay. Oh yes.
Who I used to sing for Conqueror.
Conqueror.
Introduce it, man.
Destined to Dirt. from Peasant to Unrest Eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah. One clap for Gareth.
Jesus. All right, that was Destined to Dirt.
Oh yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wicked, man.
Wicked.
Unrest Eternal.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right again.
On the money, 10 out of 10.
Stop. It's hammer time. So, dudes, just want to say it's super awesome to have you guys here. It's actually been really fun, man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been wanting to come here for how long?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah,
I've known
so
you
cool.
for a long time.
Yes. We've
We've actually recently met. It hasn't been long, but
Yeah.
it's always super nice to meet up with you and hang out. You one of the most humble people. When I go to a show, I always know when I'm going to see you, you're at least going to give me your time and chat and all that kind of stuff, which is great. And you and I met under very interesting circumstances. We're not going to talk about
What?
No.
What?
but we just as you moved down from Cape Town, we met and we had a great time. We had drank red wine
Tell
till
us
all
more.
hours of the morning.
Red,
Tell us
red.
Yeah,
wine.
and it was great. But so awesome to have Peasant here. If you haven't check them out. They've recently come back from Europe. It's just been such a journey with you guys. I wanted to say,
Yeah, you've been lucky.
That
You've
I-
seen everything from...
yeah,
As it's
but I
gone.
feel like you guys have almost been like a big brother band to, like, in my mind, in the sense that when we first started playing and stuff, you guys were the heavies, like where I used to think, oh shit, Peasant's playing fucking rad, you know?
Y'all are heavy.
And and it's really, I do feel like it's like, if we were ever worried about what we were going to do, we're like, oh, just check out what Peasant's doing.
Copy them.
It's like,
They've got a cool idea.
you know what I mean? So I really, I've really enjoyed the evolution of this band. I think the band as it stands right now is in the perfect situation, perfect position. Gone from a 4-piece to a 5-piece.
Yeah, I think
And-
now we
and
found
it-
our sound, we found our members.
Yeah,
like
dude.
now it's kind of poised to strike now. Like
Yeah.
it all happened just before recording, and then we recorded, and now we're kind of in the space where we can do what we.
I feel like with this lineup, you're all here to stay. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's got a
Look,
plan.
you put the eyes around the room. Like, yeah, no, it's just like I was mentioning earlier, it's that driving force. Like the moment we hit it and we were doing it, we just knew, and it's just like, I think if you have that, you should never let it go. Like as
For
much
sure.
as to your ability, just like go for it. Like
100%.
Feels good.
100%.
Yeah.
Hell
Do you agree
yeah.
with me though, bro?
Yeah, yeah.
Take hand,
No, Tech and
Peasant. You and I go way back,
we
bro.
go way back, yeah.
I met you at my first ever show.
That was the one with the Tech and I think.
No. That was my second show.
Ah, but I mean, we had that thing where we would always jam the same shows.
Jam the same show.
Yeah. we were,
No, for sure.
you guys helped me do my fundraiser when my kit was stolen.
The Gram Jam.
The Gram Jam,
Dude,
yeah.
that was wicked, eh?
That
Yeah,
was.
I remember that,
Shout out to
dude.
Antonio. Yeah.
And shout out to Mark who did that artwork.
Yeah.
That artwork was pretty much the best artwork I've ever seen to date.
Portraiture,
show.
character, yeah.
That
and
was
JJ, we
amazing.
did that. We did a video. Please don't look for it. That video
Yes,
is
please
cringy.
look for it.
Cringy.
Oh, and look there.
Aye.
Stay true to the end.
I was wearing my shirt yesterday too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Badass.
But Take was the first hardcore show I also went to.
Really?
Or the first show in Cape Town that I attended, yeah.
Oh,
When I-
shout out to
when I got
Mikey.
Yeah. only-
Mikey
Mikey
D.
D.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
standing
yeah.
sort of awkwardly there by the stairs in Ganda. I was like, oh, I'm the new guy.
I'm the newbie.
Yeah, look, in terms of the Take Hand vibes, I was never close with Mike,
Yeah.
but he was.
True
when-
gentle soul.
Yeah, I mean, no, but like every single time I saw him, he gave me 100% of his attention and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, even though I wasn't close to them, that band it meant the world to me. And I want to see JJ sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that was like pure passion. I think you'd
Yeah,
be a
dude.
nice man behind the mic as well.
Yeah, 100%.
The old snorky.
Yeah. But dudes, you're playing with Indian Minor.
Indian Miana.
Then the Loose Ends, I think, is the
Yes.
other band. It is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, our first show is the
5th of
3rd of October.
Third. Oh,
Keegan and my birthday. We're having a little Joel and
Yeah.
Stellenbosch.
shit. Okay, I thought maybe. Okay.
That's in the same week. So
Yeah,
it's going to
this
be our
is-
birthday
it's
week.
like
after.
it's the
Fun.
Thursday in Stellenbosch with the Valley. And then that Saturday is the album launch or the official
The
album
vinyl.
party.
Yeah, have you seen our vinyls? They
Yes,
look
I have.
badass.
I
don't even have
video
one
is
on
so
Peasant.
rad, and I love the color. Eh?
Dude, I think,
So
yeah.
Super cool, dude. Shout out to Reston Records, Wenzel.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Like
man.
and subscribe.
Wicked,
Mono.
man.
And then after that, we've got the show with Nervo Chaos from Brazil and Facing the Gallows. And
Yeah, that's
then
gonna be a
we're heating
biggie.
up Pretoria, Joburg, Durban with a few shows also for
Yeah, we
the
get
for
to
the
play with
CKY.
CKY.
No
bro.
rest for the wicked, brother. Sure, that's
Hey.
incredible.
Super
Running-
Quite
That
a-
is
quite
a
a few
busy.
shows left.
That is a busy schedule.
We're running out of leave days. I think that's our biggest problem.
That's the biggest concern.
Like, we're going to have to work through December.
Come
and
on,
graft
guys.
and-
Are we not in 2019? Can't we work remotely?
Yeah, we're in IT,
Yes.
but there's no rest for IT guys either. We're on call. I'm still getting messages. I can feel my phone vibrating the whole time. Leave me alone. I'm offline now.
So okay, wait. That was a whole lot there, dude.
Yeah, there's more.
What is and there's more. What is
Ooh.
the nearest gig to now?
The 3rd of October.
With
Which is
The
my
Valley
birthday.
the
Buy me
Valley.
drinks.
The Valley, yeah.
Okay.
At Bohemia in Stellenbosch.
Okay.
Is it not Mystic?
I think it's Bohemia, yeah. The
Mm.
Bohemian or
For me,
something.
they're the same thing because they're next door to each other.
Yeah, it's basically next to each other if I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
correctly, yeah.
No, but
Wicked,
studies, I haven't been to studies in a while, so it's going to be cool. Last time I played was On Class. I love On Class.
Yeah, on class is rad.
dude, on class is the best because then you go there, you go
Student
super
town.
early,
Yeah.
and then you get those pizzas, bro.
The
And then you eat the
pizzas.
pizza, and
the
then
beer's
you-
cheap as well.
you get the
Student
cheap
town.
beer,
Yeah.
and then I'm playing a show. Oh, a couple of Jägermeisters,
Yeah, yeah.
no
There we
problem. After the show, it's cool. Jägermeister
Oh,
turns
yeah.
into tequila. What?
Wait,
Lovely.
wait a
What
minute.
do? Okay, and then the Uber's like 700 rand home.
Yeah. I'm gonna find a place
The
to stay
guy
over
rocks
there.
up. The guy rocks up, and you're like, can you open your boot? And I've got my cab. Trying to
This
put it
big
into the
monster,
guy's
like-
boot. Yeah. Definitely not going to work. I need to get a digital rig or something to that effect because
No, I've been
It
checking
ain't
out
working.
Airbnbs, bro.
Yeah.
Just gotta stay over for the night. I think drive home in the
Yeah.
morning.
I know if I'm going to go and play a show, it's going to be
It's a mess.
it's going to be a
And
jam.
it's Keegan's birthday and it's my birthday. So
Oh shit.
and
Okay.
it's like that whole weekend. I think is just going to be trash. Like, I'm telling my boss now I'm taking leave on Friday. It's happening.
Yeah.
Forewarning.
Forewarning for sure. Dudes, it's been super cool having you guys
Yeah.
around, dude.
Yeah,
Thank
it's been
you.
so
Papa
good,
Papa
yeah.
G. Like
Papa
and
G.
subscribe.
Oh yeah.
But check out Peasant
Peasant. That's how you
on
pronounce
all
it.
your streaming platforms, YouTube, everything, videos for days.
Spotify, check out Spotify.
Unrest Eternal
Spotify.
being the new release that you are currently doing a touring cycle, clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, dudes, it's been super cool having you guys around. This is Peasant. That is Graham. That's Adri. That's Emmanuel. This is Papa G's house. We're out.
Thank you.
I don't wanna go anywhere else. I wanna go to Papa Jesus. Yeah, that's where we're going.